Hello guys, Fuzzfinger here, thank you for joining me and welcome back to Mists of Pandaria. So, I've copied across my level 85 Paladin and I was going to do some questing in the Jade Forest, but unfortunately it appears to be just as busy as the Pandaren starting zone, so I'm not going to bother doing that just now. Instead, I thought we'd take a look at the Paladin class and check out the new spells, the talent system, the user interface and that sort of thing. Excuse me, I've still got this bit of chest infection, so you just have to bear with me a little bit. Now, obviously the talent system's completely changed, and now we have this panel where we see all our spells along with our specialisation, and once we've chosen our specialisation, we can start spending talents. And the talent system, there is only one talent set for each class now. So whether you're, for instance, as a Paladin, whether you go Holy, Protection, Retribution, this is the talents you'll be able to choose from. And you can see the levels they unlock. I've got 5 unspent talents. Since I'm going to be levelling through the Jade Forest and beyond, I'm probably going to want to go Retribution for basic damage output. And if I click Learn, are you sure you want to learn this specialisation? Yes, I am. Okay, I now have these other 2 specs greyed out, which means that I will be learning these abilities. In fact, I will now have all these abilities since the last one unlocks at level 81, which is Inquisition. I'm not sure if that's changed from pre-Mr. Pandaria, but it looks like I can get everything before level 82, so that's quite useful. So we'll just go through these quickly, see if there's been any changes. So Templar's Verdict, a powerful weapon strike that costs holy power. I'm just going to see if I can turn on the tooltips. Where are we? Might be under interface options actually. See if we can find this. And oh, there it is, beginner's tooltips, so we can take that off and get a little bit more information. So Templar's Verdict uses our holy power to deal such and such damage. I'm not sure how much that's changed since the expansion. Actually it has changed, hasn't it, because in Cataclysm you could spend 1, 2 or 3 holy power, it didn't matter, but now it looks like you have to spend 3. So that's fair enough, I guess it makes the spell a little less complicated. Sword of Light increases the damage you deal with 2-handed melee weapons, pretty standard stuff. Hammer of Righteous. Hammer the current target for 20%. This used to be a tanking ability. Has it now changed to a Retribution ability? It looks like it, doesn't it? Causes a wave of light to hit all targets, so it's an AoE ability and it generates our charge of holy power. So, do we still have Crusader Strike? Well, it's not in the list, maybe it's a standard ability that all specs earn. If so, it looks like Hammer of Righteous will generate our holy power, but by being an AoE spell, so that could be useful. Judgment ability. Okay. Okay. That sounds like it's changed. Divine Storm. That's basically the AoE version of Templar's Verdict. Hammer of the Wrath. 12,000 holy damage and generates. Okay, that's similar to. Okay, that's similar to how it was before, but now it actually generates holy power, but it can still only be used on enemies with 20% less health. 20% or less health. Exorcism. Forcefully attempt to expel the evil from the target with a blast of holy light. Causes 20,000 holy damage and also generates a charge of holy power. So there's definitely more ways of generating holy power now, I've noticed. And Exorcism seems to be instant cast by default, which is useful. Before, if you know much about Paladins, you'll remember that it had to proc. So now it's just instant cast by default, which is useful. And Art of War. Well, this has changed. You now have a 20% chance of resetting the cooldown on your Exorcism. Previously, this made Flash of Light and Exorcism instant cast. now it has a chance of resetting the cooldown, so that's a very nice ability. Crusader's Zeal. Now what does this do? Your auto attacks have a chance to increase your attack speed. Okay, another standard numbers spell. I'm sure that'll come in handy. Works in the background. Seal of Justice. Fills you with Holy Light, causing melee attacks to deal 16% additional holy damage and reduce the target's movement speed by 50%. So I guess that's situational, depending on what you want to use as Retribution. You might want to use Seal of Righteousness, and maybe Seal of Truth is still viable. I'm not sure, haven't tested it out yet. Or is that going to really be the tanking seal? Then we have Inquisition. Consumes your 3 holy power to increase your holy damage by 30%. Okay, so I don't think that's changed. And Hand of Light Mastery. These abilities deal 25% additional damage as holy damage, so that's our standard mastery. I don't think that's changed. Again, let's have a look at these talents now. So the idea with these talents, with the new changes that they've implemented, is that there's going to be less maths involved, less number crunching, and it's more to do with the choice of the player. That way you can feel unique without being criticised for not choosing the best spec. So we've got the first 5 levels in the tree that we can choose. And the first one, Speed of Light, increase your movement speed by 70%. So you can see these are situational abilities. A successful judgment increases your movement speed by 45% for 3 seconds. Increases your movement speed by... Okay, so I think out of them two I prefer Long Arm of the Law. Let's see what this final one is. You gain... it's the old Pursuit of Justice spell. Now that's a little bit frustrating because on the Cataclysm servers I pretty much like both of these abilities. I like having the basic overall increase in movement speed, but then when I'm at range I like to be able to cast my judgment on a mob and be able to reach it quicker, so it's definitely a toss up for them two for me. And mind you, Pursuit of Justice now gives you increased speed per holy power as well, so that could be a really noticeable increase. So yes, I think we'll go for that. So onto the second tier, we have Fist of Justice, which replaces our Hammer of Justice spell and stuns the target for 6 seconds with a 30-second cooldown. We have Repentance, which is our standard AoE ability, pretty much unchanged from Cataclysm. And now we have this new spell, Burden of Guilt. Your judgment hits fill your target with doubt, reducing movement speed by 50%. Okay, so that to me straight away says that's the PvP talent. I'm not really going to be doing much PvP at the moment. And am I going to be doing a lot of dungeons? Yes, I'll certainly be giving dungeons a try. But for now I think we're going to go for Fist of Justice. And we can just click Learn at the end. So onto the third tier, Selfless Healer. We have our successful judgments reducing the cast time of our next flash of light by 50% per stack and increasing its effectiveness. Okay. I don't think we'll be going for that. That could be situational for Retribution Paladin, since it does increase the effectiveness, but we'll see what else there is. Eternal Flame consumes up to 3 holy power to place a protective holy flame on a friendly target, which heals them for such and such every 3 seconds. Okay. And Sacred Shield protects the target with a shield of holy light. Words of glory on target, shield of subs. I think we're going to go for Sacred Shield, since I know and love that from Cataclysm. And yeah, I think we will go for Sacred Shield there. So on to the next tier, we have Hand of Purity. Places a hand on a friendly target, reducing the damage of harmful periodic effects. Unbreakable Spirit, when your Divine Shield, Divine Protection or Lay on hands are on cooldown. Spending holy power will reduce the remaining cooldown up to a maximum of 50% reduction. That could be useful. Although there is also Clemency, which when activated immediately finishes the cooldown Okay, that is... yeah, I think we'll try Unbreakable Spirit, since that sounds like quite a new ability. And could be interesting to try out, and I do use Divine Shield and Lay on Hands quite often, even when levelling, so... And our final talent point, Holy Avenger. Abilities that generate Holy Power will generate 3 charges of Holy Power for the next 20 seconds. Okay, so we've seen something like that before, and it is very useful. Sanctified Wrath. You gain more frequent access to one of your abilities during Avenging Wrath. And as you can see for Retribution, that will mean Hammer of Wrath has no cooldown. And this is why we have to make a choice in these new Mr. Pandaria talents, because obviously before you could have both of these. They were just standard spells. And abilities that cost Holy Power have a 15% chance to cause a Divine Purpose effect, the same as Divine Purpose. They may have been called different names, but you didn't have to choose between each one. Now you do. And to be honest, I want all 3 of these. But I think the one that wins out for me at the moment is probably Holy Avenger. Although I may come to changing that, since I've noticed that a lot of our abilities now cause Holy Power anyway. We may not need Holy Avenger. It may not be as useful as it was in Cataclysm. But we'll see how we get on. So I'm going to learn those talents. And obviously I'm going to need to put all my abilities on the action bar. This is a pre-made character, since I couldn't copy across one of my own level 85 Paladin. It kept coming back with an error on the website, so I've had to use a pre-made character. It's in full Firelands gear as far as I can tell. I've enchanted it, gemmed it, and we'll be able to test the Jade Forest. Although, as you can see, it's heaving with people. A bit like the Pandarian starting zone, so it should be a lot of fun. But we've had a look at our talents now. We'll have a play around with them in the next video of this series, where we start levelling through here and start picking the quests up. So yes, we'll be working through the Jade Forest. The map's already fully explored. I'm not sure if that's a bug or if it's going to be like that in the final release. I've been Fuzzfinger. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this preview of the Paladin Retribution talent and spells. I'll see you next time.